Donald Trump doesn't know anything about anything, says David. He is the greatest con artist in the world. Check it out.
Now, Donald Trump doesn't know anything about anything. He claims to be the world's greatest expert on 23 subjects. I am a world-recognized expert, as you know, on taxes. That's how, as not being a lawyer, I teach law, because people know that I know this very deeply. Donald testified under oath he doesn't know anything about accounting. You can't know tax if you don't know accounting. It's impossible. So that's proof that it's just nonsense. So Donald wouldn't understand these documents. He didn't know why the USS Arizona Memorial at Pearl Harbor exists. He didn't understand what Pearl Harbor was. He thought Finland was part of Russia. He couldn't tell a Sunni from a Shia if you put a gun to his head. And it's all a fraud, his claims of genius and brilliance and all of that. So he takes nuclear secrets and human intelligence, called HumInt, and SIGINT, Signals Intelligence, as in Pine Gap, from the White House. Well, Donald wouldn't know what these documents mean. He doesn't read very well, among other things. But here's what Donald knows. He knows the value of things. Imagine that what he has is the Israeli government's nuclear secrets that we know. I wonder how much the Saudis would pay for that. I'll bet you a lot of money. And that's what Donald knows, how to monetize these things. So the US government at this point, since he lied about these documents, he had no right to retain them. Every judge, even Trump-appointed judges, have said, you're a private citizen, you have no right to these documents. Mere possession is a crime. Just like, you got a 1 pound box of marijuana, that's a crime. Doesn't matter what your intent was. Your friend may have gotten drunk and opened the door of your apartment and dropped it on the place. The presumption is that you're a criminal. They're going to have to indict him over this. And now the elections are over, it'll come. The problem the U.S. Justice Department faces is this.
There's 300 million guns in the country.
No,
you don't want to start a Trumpist insurgence.
Yeah, we cannot not prosecute criminals out of fear of violence. People are going to die. There are going to be police officers who are going to be murdered over the indictment of Donald Trump. I feel horrible about that. I am literally inside feeling horrible thinking about this.
It's going to happen.
But we cannot let someone get away with crimes out of that fear. We cannot do that, or we don't have a civilized society. So the problem is that I have accused Donald Trump of many, many crimes and documented how he's committed these frauds, money laundering, cheating gamblers at his casino, lots of things.
The interstate jewelry racket.
Every senior experienced prosecutor will tell you, you bring the case you know you can win, not the case you should bring. And the U.S. Justice Department has to figure out, how do we get a case that a jury has to convict on? They don't have any options.
It's got to be simple, as you say. For once, if it's too complicated, his lawyers
It's got
will
to
get
be
him
simple, it's got to be basic, it's got to be ironclad, and it's got to be one in the case of taking these documents where he can't say, well, no, I thought they were mine. Doesn't matter that you thought they were yours. And in fact, he was told these aren't yours. And that's going to be a thing to see. But you're going to see him indicted soon by the federal government. I believe he's highly likely to be indicted by the county prosecutor in the county that overlays Atlanta, Georgia, where he told the state chief election official, find me 11,790 or whatever it was votes, and threatened him with reprisals if he didn't falsely claim that Donald won the election. Fannie Willis, the district attorney there, has been doing quite a job, and you're certainly going to see indictments, and I suspect you're going to see Donald being indicted. And he's going to be tied up in civil litigation for the rest of his life.
He's got lawyers to do that. That's the benefit.
His lawyers are horrible lawyers. I mean, some of the lawsuits, they just filed a lawsuit in the state of Florida against the Attorney General of New York, who has civil authority and is pursuing Trump for civil fraud over his businesses. And we now know from emails that have been released that Donald's own lawyers in New York said, don't do this. A, that's grounds for disbarment because it's malpractice by the Florida lawyers. And B, all you're going to do is infuriate further New York judges and the judicial system